Buddy Hield has now been involved in trade talks and trade rumors for what feels like at least 2 years at this point, and he was nearly moved to the LA Lakers this summer before Russell Westbrook was inevitably moved there. But now, as he is still a member of the Sacramento Kings roster, we need to talk about why Buddy Hield should no longer be on this roster and why Sacramento have to seriously engage in finding a trade partner for Buddy Hield by this year's trade deadline, or at the very least, this next offseason. Firstly, just a brief summary of what Buddy Hield brings to an NBA roster before we get into why I feel so strongly about why the Kings need to trade Buddy Hield, because it's not just simply Buddy Hield is slightly overpaid. There is a true organizational fit within the makeup of this roster as to why he should not be here. Buddy Hield is one of the premier three-point shooters in the NBA, minus the fact that his efficiency is down this year. Typically shoots around 10 threes per game, and usually shoots about 40% from deep, as mentioned. Poor to his standards this year, shooting below 40% from the field and closer to 36% from deep. But generally speaking, Buddy Hield is still one of the top three-point shooters in the league, although is one of the worst defensive players in the perimeter in the NBA. With that in mind, let's go ahead and talk about why Buddy Hield should be moved from the Sacramento Kings and why it would benefit Sacramento to be able to get some assets from him and to be able to move him from the roster. We'll start with the contract, but it's definitely not the only reason. Buddy Hield signed a 4-year, $94 million contract a couple of years ago at having an average salary of $23.5 million a year, a massive amount, in my opinion at least, for someone who is just primarily a three-point shooter who gives you very good spacing. He can give you more than just catch and shoot three. Sure, he can get them off the move, a little bit off the dribble. He can create a bit of his own shot, but ultimately he's not really doing much on the offensive end outside of the three-point shot. He's not a very good defensive player. He's not an amazing playmaker as far as his passing ability. This is not where he's at. And so, realistically, for the limited amount of things he's good at on the basketball court, not an amazing contract. But besides that point, there are a plethora of other young guards on this team, and Buddy Hield's just soaking up minutes that those guys should be taking, could be taking, and arguably, at least for some of them, are just already better than Buddy Hield and should be getting those minutes anyways. It's at least positive from a youth development standpoint that Buddy Hield has moved to the bench this year with Tyrese Haliburton in the starting lineup, and that could potentially be a part of the reason why Buddy Hield has seen a bit of a dip in stat production, but he's still been playing a lot of minutes with that starting group throughout the course of the game. But, I mean, he's paired now alongside De'Aaron Fox as their most valuable piece moving forward, whether it's via a trade. I'm still not sold on the fact that he is going to be traded, but those rumors still continue to be around. And of course, Tyrese Haliburton, their second-year guard, who they're very high on and has a lot of upside moving forward. That also still includes Davion Mitchell, who was just drafted in the first round last year. And although his offense hasn't been amazing so far, his defense certainly is going to be impactful. And less talked about, but still very much present, is Terrence Davis, who they acquired at last year's trade deadline, who has some offensive upside. And it's been pretty solid this year since being inserted into the starting lineup on a few occasions since Alvin Gentry has been the head coach. All four of these guys, all young, all valuable, all have upside, all under the age of 25, all of which are better defensively than Buddy Hield, significantly, in fact, for the majority of them. And they all have upside to improve their games that Buddy Hield just doesn't have. And so Buddy Hield eating up minutes from these guys long-term for the development of these guys just doesn't really make sense. Ultimately, there's another reason why the Sacramento Kings need to start looking at moving Buddy Hield sooner rather than later, just to free up some more minutes for these guys to play and develop. Not that they're really lacking in minutes, but specifically for someone like Terrence Davis, or even to an extent Davion Mitchell, not that they're fully the same position. But there's definitely some minutes there getting eaten up by Buddy Hield that can get shoved around to some younger guys moving forward. The third argument I have for trading Buddy Hield pretty much as soon as you can from a Sacramento standpoint, they need to be actively looking to continue trade Buddy Hield, is that the Kings already have a good offense, but they really struggle on defense. And Buddy Hield is very much helping the offense, which is fine, but they don't need him to at least have a middle-of-the-pack offense in the NBA. But him being out there on defense, well, that's definitely not helping their case for being one of the worst defensive teams in the league. That's just the reality of it. The Sacramento Kings have been better in some ways under Alvin Gentry now. Their pace is up. Some of the things they're doing on offense look better. I like that they're playing with more pace, more speed, using their athleticism. But their defense, unfortunately, is still not great. Sacramento are, in the last 10 games, the 27th ranked team via defensive rating. On the season, they are in 29th. And Buddy Hield is in no way or form helping their defense be any better. He's just not a great defender. It's just unfortunately the reality of it. And so having guys, the fact that the young guys behind him are that much better defensively in many respects, when you're looking at guys like Davion Mitchell, De'Aaron Fox, and not that De'Aaron Fox is behind him, but the young guys surrounding him on the depth chart, Tyrese Halliburton, even Terrence Davis, like these guys are better NBA defenders than Buddy Hield. Those guys getting more minutes is going to ultimately benefit to some extent the Sacramento defense. I'm not saying that's going to make them some amazing defense, but it's definitely not going to hurt them by any stretch, not to mention any potential assets you could get back from Buddy Hield that could potentially help you on the wing in terms of wing depth or defensively. That would be crucial. No scenario or one move, though, is going to solve the Sacramento Kings organization. That is key here. They have struggled for an extremely long time for a reason, and one Buddy Hield trade is not going to solve everything. That's not the idea I want to give. However, Buddy Hield can fit on a competitive roster in a role to be a three-point shooter and a spacer. Sacramento have enough offense without him, and him filling that role while being terrible defensively for this group just doesn't make sense, especially given his contract. That is my arguments for why the Sacramento Kings need to seriously engage in trade conversations regarding Buddy Hield in the near future. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys have a great rest of your Sunday, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.